So we chose to explore the embodiment practice of pole dancing at Aerial Bliss Studio, which is just outside of downtown Madison, and we participated in the basic spins and climbs class for beginners. And pole dancing has been around for generations and has continuously changed and evolved, but the one thing that remains consistent is that pole dancing really allows someone to feel empowered, and it really gives them a way to be in charge of themselves and their bodies. And that's the reason why we chose to explore it. And this practice has been very influential on the lives of so many individuals. So the art of pole dancing that we are familiar with originated in the 1920s as a circus sideshow, and then as more sexualized practices such as burlesque became more popularized around the 1950s, pole dancing began to invade clubs. And in 1968, the first strip club was created at a small strip in Oregon. And in 1994, the first pole dance or exotic dance school opened and finally allowed people to professionally learn this beautiful practice. However, this has roots in many prior practices, primarily maypole dance and mallakhamb. The maypole dance is a dance dating back to the 12th century, actually, and was typically used to celebrate fertility and was performed by dancers twirling a ribbon around a pole whilst dancing. Mallakhamb was a 19th century Indian sport, which in English can be translated to pole gymnastics, which was extremely male dominant. And the idea of a form of pole dancing began male dominant is extremely differential than what we see today.
In today's cultural context, we stereotypically see pole dancing portrayed in female strip clubs, especially in the media. This dance has become primarily related to women, and we often hear of men going to strip clubs in order to ogle at these women as they dance. The problem of the male gaze is really prevalent here. Strip clubs continue to economically thrive because of the male gaze and this phenomenon. In the stereotypical view of pole dancing, as seen in stripping, we see men objectify these dancers, but this isn't necessarily the case, and many women within the pole dancing community do this because they see their work as feminist and empowering. While stripping quite often uses the practice of pole dancing, these terms shouldn't be used interchangeably. Many women pole dance for exercise or as a hobby or just because they think it's really fun. And society has shamed women for their sexuality, but recently it's been coming into light that this is something that we should be proud of and take control of. For example, porn star Joanna Angel invited her female fan base to come and join her in order to make a living off of something that they're doing anyways. In short, she's telling her that they're having sex and sex is fun, you should take control of your body, and so she's inviting them to come join her. We should be agents for our sexuality and show it off proudly. Being a woman should feel empowering, and we shouldn't be put down by a patriarchal society that we live in. Our bodies are just that, they are ours. They are no one else's, and taking control of bodies in any means is empowering, and one way to do this is through pole dancing. According to pole dancing guru Christine Giberson, there is a certain feminine energy that we have been trying to suppress in order to more appropriately survive in this male-dominant society, but this practice gives us an outlet to explore this energy, and further than that, we are finally able to embrace it. It provides not only an undeniable strength, but also shows that you don't have to give up your grace and femininity in order to be seen as powerful.
So at our class, we met a former professional dancer who was interested in our project and wanted to help us, so she did an interview with us. And she did ask to remain anonymous, so we won't be using her name, but we asked her 3 questions. So for the first question, she said that because of financial and mental health struggles, she had to drop out of school, and she was applying for jobs around her and did a lot of interviews, but because she didn't have a degree, she was always the less desirable candidate. And after 2 or 3 months of being unemployed, she was running out of savings and she was really fed up, so she knew a club nearby and went in to audition, and she started that night. Okay, so for the second question, she said, you know those billboards you see for strip clubs? She had always assumed that strippers really looked like that, and that they were all very like stereotypically desirable and had like the very stereotypical body of a stripper. And she walked into the club thinking that she would get laughed right back out of it, but she learned that there are strippers with almost any kind of body, and it was a harder question for her to answer, but she knew very little about strip clubs or stripping beforehand, but the knowledge that she has now could fill a book. So she did say that it was like entering an entirely different world. So for the third question, she said that yes, she does feel really empowered and she wants to go back because of it. She said that she felt like she had more control of her body, and as she like understood and experienced it, girls are sexualized from day one, and all of a sudden she got to like twist and monetize it, and if men wanted her sexual attention, they had to do it on her terms, and that was really empowering for her as a worker. She set her own hours and she knew her own worth.
Whew.
Alright, anyway. So we're going to use our half or our full brace grip. One hand is up high, one hand is down low. We're going to take that same get ready step with our inside foot, and then we're going to do our leg whip. As we do our leg whip, we're going to bring both of our legs out and up. Nice.
Can we do all those moves too?
Yeah, you can. Let's do it. Alright, so. I want to say where your body lands.
Well, mine wants to go right.
Ooh.
Atta girl.
Okay.
I can't read the writing from over here. Oh, it's a 4K. Oh, that's fine. This is really trying to.
Okay, here we go. This is a pancake. What we're gonna do? We're gonna bring our hips in front of the pole, right? The inside hips, I guess. We're gonna go in front of the pole. Your inside hand is gonna go down low, around your shoulder. Your outside hand is going to hold the pole above your inside hand, and then you're going to make a band with your feet.
Wait, it's above.
That is effective. Okay, so how do we do it? Now breathe it, yeah? So what we're gonna do is we're going to hold onto the pole with our half brace grip. And then we're going to take a step on the outside foot. Cross over, pivot. And then leg whip on your new outside foot. Back.
There you go, Star.
Are you okay? Good?
Yes! I can get it, just like, no.
So women have been struggling for centuries in order to gain respect and independence. Becoming empowered through this practice is a huge step towards that, In our opinion, once women gain full control over their sexuality and bodies, the rest will fall into place, and the empowerment we get from pole dancing aids this process immediately. We never put much thought into trying this practice or discovering where it had stemmed from, but from exploring this practice more in depth, we were able to truly appreciate it. Participating today truly made us feel empowered and in control of our bodies, and we hope to continue this practice and gain perspective on who we are and who we want to become.
I just wanted to add that the fact that we were able to be in charge of our own bodies and really, become empowered by them has really changed something for me, I think, and I think for all of us, it really affected us. As someone who really struggles with body image and has been in and out of inpatients and outpatients for eating disorders, it just made me feel more confident in myself and my body and just feel more empowered in a sense. So I feel like that just goes to prove our argument of that. It really does help empower you, and you get to control your body and your movements. And I feel like we were in a very welcoming environment. It was constant supports of, there you go, like you got it, like look at you go. It was everybody around you was just supporting you and lifting you up. So I think that it was a really great thing to go and experience that.